Looks like all the rumors were true this year for the LA Auto Show. Not only are we getting a new Crown, we're also getting a new Camry. This is it, the new 2025 Camry. It's a ground-up redesign, and this time it's 100% hybrid. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab the camera and let's walk around these two cars together, because rather unfortunately I don't have a great deal of time. So let's just dive right into the Camry. Over here we have an XLE trim. This is the more luxury-oriented model. The model in gray over there, that's an XSE. So you can see we have the different grading going on. This has more of an egg crate kind of thing going on there. I have to say the design is definitely more attractive to my eye than the current generation Camry. I really like the look of both of these lower grille treatments, especially the way that Toyota has been integrating their grille better into the body. So this doesn't have that complete body integration that we find on the new Crown Signia, but we do have these diamonds that merge into the horizontals, and then that helps merge over there into the bumper. Really gives it a much more clean look. Over here we find full LED headlights. These are sort of 4 projector beams. You can actually see each of these modules as split in the middle, and then we get the C-shaped accent strips that we see in other Toyota models. It's a really cohesive look. They've also decided to focus on more styling and more accent lines, so you can see that we get some creases in the hood. Definitely gives that hood more of a powerful appearance. But then we have some flowy lines, like this really interesting, very rounded styling right there with a combination of creases that then stretch across the body. This appears to be about the same size as the existing Camry. So if you want something that is just a little bit bigger, you want to take a look at the Crown. And if you want something that's a bit more cargo practical, you want to take a look at the new Crown Signia, basically the Crown wagon. As with the front-end design, I think the back-end design is definitely more attractive than the current generation Camry, and they've really given this a lot of attention to detail when it comes to the styling elements. Back here we have big Camry logo and of course the new Beyond Zero logo, even though hybrid vehicles are literally before zero. Let's take a look at the trunk. Inside here we have, of course, one of the biggest trunks in the segment, most likely. We don't know exact dimensions, but you can bet that this will be. It does look pretty big and pretty square. I appreciate the fact that they've really knocked the trunk out to the sides like that, so you can fit those much longer items easily inside. Let's see what's going on under the floor mat. Under here we have what looks like, oh yeah, there is a temporary spare tire under there, so spare tire fans rejoice. There's also the tire iron, and it looks like you could probably fit a full-size spare in there if you just wanted to take out that foam divider and do that on your own. So definitely solid reasons to get this over some of the competition. In addition to that, you'll notice that on this XSE model over here, we get some slightly different styling tweaks, so things look a little bit angrier. We get this black section that joins those tail lamps together. And we have an all-wheel drive badge because, yep, you're going to get a hybrid system and all-wheel drive available. And because the XSE trim is the sportier model, we're going to get a dual-tipped exhaust setup, although you can see that that exhaust tip just sort of wise off of the single muffler right back there. The other thing that differentiates the XSE from the rest of the lineup is the black spoiler here and this blacked-out roof section. That really gives it kind of an interesting look, I have to say, from the side. It really sort of softens that roof line, gives it much more of an aggressive stance. But it doesn't look as, I guess, unusual as the new Crown with its sort of two-tone thing going on where the bumper and the hood are a different color. Let's go ahead and check out the interior now. Let's try out this XSE trim with the red interior. I have to say, Toyota does a really great red interior. Up on the ceiling, we have the controls for the power moonroof, and you can actually open the glass in this one. So it's a bit different than the Crown Signia I was just in, where the glass didn't open. Pretty big opening section right here above the driver and front passengers' heads, and then that smaller portion back there towards the rear passenger area. Again, very, very red upholstery in here. I like the fact that when Toyota does a red seat, they actually make it red. It's not burgundy or some darker color there, it's just bright, bright red. These seats are both heated and ventilated in this particular trim, and the perforation pattern continues over there on the door to help tie things together, and then it sort of fades out as it goes over to the dash. We have a very horizontal theme in this dashboard. There's actually kind of an interesting touch here. This black plastic has what kind of look like 1970s louvers in it, and that integrates with that air vent over there on that side. Now, on the downside, that is kind of a lot of shiny black plastic in here, and actually there's quite a lot of shiny black plastic down here in the center console as well. But before we get to that, we have the 12.3-inch LCD infotainment system. There are going to be 2 different LCDs in the Camry depending on the model you get. There's an 8-inch one or this 12.3-inch one. And then there are going to be 2 different instrument clusters, 12.3 like we have here, or a smaller partial LCD cluster as well. This is running basically the same software that we find in a variety of new Toyotas. So if you want to check that out, be sure and check out my Crown video. You can see exactly how that functions. Down here we have the controls for the heated and ventilated seats, the dual zone automatic climate control. I really like these toggles. I have to say this is definitely a really attractive button bank. I think it's better than what we find in the current generation Sonata. Moving down from here, we have two USB charge-only ports, a USB port that interfaces with the system for CarPlay and Android Auto, wireless charging mat right there, a traditional shifter, which has surprised me because a lot of Toyotas have moved to that joystick-style shifter, and we don't find that here. This is what the key looks like. It does appear to be a final production key. It's pretty much a typical Toyota key. We have a big storage area there in front of the cup holders. I do like the amount of storage we have in here. And then we have two big cup holders behind, EV mode, brake hold button, things like that there. Center armrest. Let's check that out. It actually is pretty decently sized inside. You could definitely fit some of those larger items in there. The steering wheel is pretty similar to other Toyota wheels. We have the driver monitoring system above there. We have paddles on the back, controls for the multifunction LCD and your phone, a volume toggle, voice command button, and then over here we have track forward backward toggles. And yes, even more shiny black plastic. I am actually surprised that Toyota has gone in this direction because the shiny black plastic in here is likely going to scratch pretty easily, and there is quite a lot of it. So you can see it's all over the center console. It's also all over those switch sections over there, and then all over the dashboard as well. As much as I like red leather, I think I like the interior in this XLE a little bit better. You can see that we have the perforated center sections of the seat, but then we have this imitation suede line that runs all across the side and then wraps around the front in that bolster area right there. It's a really attractive look, but what's also interesting is what's going on over here on the front doors and on the dashboard. You can see that trim line with that really slim door handle there a little bit better in this design. Over here you can see the ambient lighting and this sort of textury, waffly pattern on that same imitation suede. It's a really, really cool look. It's difficult to see, but it's not actually inside these black sections of there. It's coming right there under the silver section. We have basically the same infotainment screen, basically the same center consoles in this vehicle. Everything else is essentially the same as that XSE trim. We just get those different styled panels. Now let's check out the seats and see how roomy they are. I'm 6 feet tall, so let's give this a whirl. Sitting in a pretty comfortable seating position. Let's go ahead and put my foot all the way over there to the dead pedal. That's pretty comfortable. I have maybe about an inch of headroom left. This does have the panoramic moonroof. If you want more headroom, you might want to skip that in your next Camry. Let's go ahead and go to the back and see what this is like, because the Camry, of course, has a reputation for being a family sedan. So let's see how big your family can be. That's actually pretty comfy back here. I have maybe about 6.5 inches of legroom left. This might be the kind of vehicle where I could put a rear-facing child seat behind me. Not too sure on those dimensions yet. We'll be able to see soon. And, ooh, actually headroom back here. In fact, I'll scoot over here so you can come in closer and check out the headroom. My hair is brushing the ceiling, but my head is not touching the ceiling. This is probably the best back seat in this mid-size sedan category. The current generation Accord, the rear end really pinches down quite aggressively. I was pretty shocked by that, and it really has reduced practicality. Here in the center, we have two air vents. These look very similar to other Toyota air vents. You can see there are the on-off knob. We have a USB and a USB-C charge port just below that. Not too small of a hump in the middle. I was actually surprised that hump didn't shrink a little bit in this generation. But rear seat passengers will also get a softly padded armrest with two cup holders there, and the rear seats fold in a 60-40 fashion, but as you can see, they're not quite level with the cargo area in the back. It's a pretty decent ramp up, and that's most likely because the battery pack for this hybrid system is still under the rear seats. You can actually see there's a little vent right there under the rear seats for battery cooling. Last year when Honda said the Accord was going half hybrid, everybody was shocked. This year, Toyota said, hold my beer, we're going all hybrid in every Camry. And that's exactly what we find under the hood. This is a revised version of the 2.5-liter hybrid system that we've seen in the Camry and the Highlander for a while. 225 horsepower is what you're going to get in the front-wheel drive model. If you get the all-wheel drive model, that power bumps up to 232 horsepower thanks to the addition of an electric motor in the back. This is not going to use a mechanical all-wheel drive system like we found in the Camry before. And it's definitely going to give you more power than the previous all-wheel drive Camry. That one used the base naturally aspirated engine. You couldn't get all-wheel drive on the hybrid or on the V6. And if you haven't noticed, this also means the V6 is now dead in the Camry. So if you want more performance, you're going to have to get the all-wheel drive hybrid. If you want V6 levels of performance, you're going to have to get the Crown with the Hybrid Max system under its hood, because that drivetrain, at least for the moment, doesn't seem to be coming to the Camry. We don't know. Who knows? It could happen in maybe a TRD version of the Camry, some sport version of the Camry in the future. It seems relatively unlikely, though, because we do get that Crown with the Hybrid Max system. Let me know what you think about this. We don't know fuel economy numbers just yet, but the previous generation Camry in front-wheel drive hybrid trim could get you up to 50 miles per gallon. And that is a fantastic fuel economy score. I wouldn't expect it to drop too much for this generation, even with the addition of all-wheel drive. And that means that something like this XSE trim with the more aggressive looks could still be giving you incredible fuel economy in combination with that. Be sure and let me know what you think about the Camry down there in the comments section below. What do you think of the style, which I think is fantastic? Toyota has had some rough starts, I would say, in some of their designs lately. I'm not the biggest fan of the way the Crown looks. I think the BZ4X is a little peculiar, but I also think the Prius is fantastically attractive, and this borrows some of those Prius-like styling cues with a more aggressive interpretation of that overall design language, even on the more mainstream versions, not just the XSE. The XLE gets those styling cues as well. Then, of course, we get the hybrid system standard, which means you can bet that the price tag is going to be higher than 2023 or 2024. We don't know any of those details just yet, but stay tuned because this is going to go on sale next year. So hopefully we'll have some of those details as we get closer to that on sale date. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Find me over at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those other social places, and I'll see all of you next week.